Hello, welcome to Chapter 18 for Business Math. It's called Accounting. This is Lesson 18.2, Business Expenses. So as always, I say this in every video, make sure you're reading through the chapter, looking at the examples, paying attention to not just what they're asking you to do, but why. Why are you doing what you're doing? So that you understand as you move forward through the chapter what it is you're learning and how to apply it to some of the more involved problems or even the algebra problems here. So again, make sure you're looking through the chapter. Don't just jump straight into these worksheets. All right. So if we look here at the little summary, we have your business must keep accurate records of all its expenses. This information can be used to calculate profit and income tax or to plan for future spending. You may calculate the percentage of each expense by comparing it to your total expenses. So percent of total equals the particular expense, so whatever expense you're looking at, divided by the total expense or expenses. All right, so let's look at number one. We have Holman's Florist and Garden Shop had the following expense last quarter. Expenses. I don't know why I keep leaving the S off that. Last quarter. Complete the table. Round to the nearest 1/10%. So we have payroll, advertising equipment, office/garage rental, supplies/flowers, insurance, and utilities. And we have a total of $2,100. All right, so if we want the percent of the total, we're simply going to take our piece that we have here. So here's our piece for payroll, and we're going to divide that by our total down here at the bottom, $302,100. And that will give us our percentage. Please keep in mind, so I'm going to actually show you this on here, divided by 302,100. So we get this kind of long decimal here. Remember, they don't want the decimal, they want a percent of the total. So multiply by 100, or move that decimal by yourself, but if you multiply by 100, it automatically moves it over for you. So it's 41.79079%. But they said round to the nearest 1/10%, which is 7. So I look at the 9. Since it's 5 or bigger, it's going to round that 7 up to 8. So I have 41.8%. So make sure you give a percent, not a decimal. We're not looking for the decimal. We want to see the percentage. It's actually more meaningful to most people. If you say it's 0.4179 for the ratio there, they're going to kind of look at you funny. But if you go, it's 41%. Okay, that generally makes more sense to most people. For whatever reason, it's just more comparable to a lot of people if you give a percentage. All right, so you're going to do that same thing for each one. Advertising cost, $25,500 divided by 302,100. You're going to do that same thing for each one of these. When you get down to the bottom here, again, you want a total. So you want to add these because there's a total column here. This should be 100% when you add these straight down. If it is not 100%, something went wrong. These are 100% of your expenses, so all your percentages should total 100%. So keep that in mind. That's a good way to check your answer. If you do not get 100% in this column, when you add straight down all your percentages, something happened. Go back and check. Just to make sure you didn't kind of mess up your math there somewhere. All right, let's look at this next piece here. We have very, very similar. The only difference on this one is that they give you all the different expenses and then they don't total this for you. So in this one, they gave us the total. They totaled it for us. Well, this one, they want us to total it. So you need to add all of these together to get your total. And then when you go through and you do these pieces, so percent of total, I'm going to go, well, wooden accessories, that was $102.40, so $102.40. And I'm going to divide that by my total here. So we need to know that total in order to get the percent of total. And then don't forget, of course, you have to multiply by 100 to get that percent that we're looking for. All right, let's look at the algebra piece down here below, because I'm going to let you fill the rest of that one out, or the rest of both of those out. All right, algebra. Aladdin Dinner currently spends $28,630 monthly on payroll. If the Aladdin dinner's monthly payroll is 45% of its total monthly expenses, find the total monthly expenses. All right, so let's kind of write this out in kind of an equation looking manner so that it makes a little more sense. So we have monthly payroll. Oops, don't know why I put two O's there. Payroll, there we go. So monthly payroll is, and is, whenever we hear the word is, that means equals. So it is 45% of, well, when I hear of, I know I'm multiplying. And it's 45% of its total monthly expenses. So we have monthly expenses. And then they want to know, find the total monthly expenses. So we know what the payroll is. They told us the monthly payroll is $28,630. So I can replace monthly payroll with the amount that I know it is. And then 45% of, instead of writing monthly expenses, I'm just going to write an M. Just kind of simplify that. So now I have a pretty simple equation here to solve. Remember, to get the variable by itself, we're always trying to do the opposite of what's being done. You can kind of think of it as undoing. So instead of multiplying by 45%, we want to undo that so that we can get M by itself. So we want to divide by 45% on both sides. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do to the other side. Think of it like a little balance scale. You have to keep it equal. So 45% divided by 45%, any number divided by itself, any number is 1. So it kind of drops off, it disappears. And the reason is because it's moving over to the left side here. So we just need to do this division to find out what the monthly payroll is. And I'm dividing by a percentage, which means it's actually going to be a bigger number. I know that it's kind of, for whatever reason, that doesn't always make sense to some students, but it's going to end up being a bigger number here because I'm dividing instead of multiplying. So I'm kind of going backwards to get the larger number here. Again, make sure you move this decimal or click that percent sign, because if you divide by 45, you're not going to get the right number. You need to divide by 0.45. All right, well, I hope that helped, and I will see you in section 3.